if I were in charge, and I'm not because I'm probably not good at it.
What do you mean? You put Marvel on the map.
That's right, I did. Welcome to Mike Talks Marvel. I'm Mike.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Corey.
So Ashley will not be with us today, but we have Corey with us. Corey is the one who made the music for us. He's our sound guy.
You heard me before I spoke. I've been making all sorts of random music for the past couple of years. My YouTube channel is Corey Croft and the Band of Phantoms. I've made music for you guys and a channel called Keep Tappin' X, Let's Play local channel.
We're gonna have them on soon, hopefully too.
Yes, yeah, I'll
Okay.
connect you guys to them. We just did a playthrough of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
I watched that. It was actually fun to watch.
There's a bunch of idiots while we're playing, and that's all it is. But
What is that
That's
called?
We are as well.
their channel is Keep Tappin' X.
Keep tapping X.
And I've also done music for Nightmind as well. I did an entire album's worth of material for him recently.
And you also just released a bunch of covers that
I did.
are fantastic.
I released a cover album at the beginning of the month called No Gods, No Masters, No Cover Charge, because I legally can't charge to for anyone to listen to it because I don't own the rights to any of the songs that I covered. 15 or 16 old 80s punk songs that just I like.
Yeah, and it's
influential
awesome.
music. Thank you.
The cover of Pet Cemetery is my favorite.
Yeah. I had
Love
so
it.
much fun doing that one. I kind of make whatever anybody needs. If it's something I like or something I'm interested in,
I went through
bring my
my
hands on it to help.
went through my history, and actually one of his videos, Nightmind. This room does not exist. I'm going through one of those, so that's really freaking cool.
Yeah,
I just learned
Corey's
something.
a cool guy.
Yeah,
he knows a lot of cool people.
Oh,
he does
please.
a lot of cool things. And that brings me to my next point about Corey is he may be a bigger Spider-Man fan than I am. He's actually Spider-Man. Well,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That sounds like something Spider-Man would say.
yeah, that's the thing. And he's gonna also get real humble about this too. But he spent like his whole day off from work, and this guy does a lot of stuff. He works a day job, and he does all this creative stuff.
have two
And
day
it took
jobs.
a whole day, maybe 2 days. I don't even know how long it took him. But he just cleaned up a park that had gotten vandalized.
We go to this spot that it's out in the woods, local here. It's got like a big rock formation and stuff, and it's just a cool spot to hang out. It's a nice spot out in the woods. We've filmed things over there. I've been going there for years. It's just a cool area. I hadn't gone in a couple months, and one of the last times I went at the beginning of the summer, it was just covered in graffiti. Terrible things. Like, we think it's like an old like tower or something, because there are these big like maybe 3 or 4 foot square blocks that stack up almost like a staircase, and they create this kind of like right angle triangular formation, and it's on the edge of the water, so like you can go up and sit at the top of it. But a bunch of kids must have went over there with some spray paint, and they spray painted like jump with arrows pointing to the edge of it, and a lot of other really just
Gross
hateful
stuff.
things. Yeah, I put up a couple pictures of it online. And we were really, really disappointed by it. I went there that morning and saw all that and took a handful of pictures and sent it to a couple people, like, look what they did to this place. And we decided to get together later that day and bought like 8 cans of spray paint and then just went there and covered everything. We just tried to do as best as we could to make it look like natural again, and just took gray and black and white and kind of speckled tones and stuff like that, and just tried to make it look normal again.
Wow.
And
You know who would do
it
that?
did.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
He would.
We were laughing about it while we were doing it, like going, this is some superhero this is some like giving back to the community type thing.
Yeah.
It was just, it was really crappy because like it's connected to this nature walk thing. So like we know like there are like families and stuff that are like checking this thing out and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
there was like hate speech written across all that stuff. Like you saw the pictures of it.
Yeah.
It was bad. And we just didn't want people to like see that. And it just, I don't know, it bothered us all the same like equal way. One of us was like, what happens if cops show up? Like, well, I'll show them the before pictures
Yeah,
and then tell them what I'm doing and
Reverse vandalize.
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's really cool.
Thank you.
So it's Wednesday, which is New Comic Book Day.
It is.
Yeah. So what'd you get?
I picked up the new Miss Marvel.
Okay.
I picked up the new Miles Morales.
Mhm.
I picked up the new Powers of X, which I have not read any of those yet because I worked all day. But I did read Doom #1.
How was it?
So good. The artwork is fantastic in it, first of all. There's some plot things that I'm not really sure about yet. You don't really know who Doom is anymore. Is he kind of like an anti-hero? Is he the bad guy? What is he? He's obviously going to be the protagonist. He gets framed, and Latveria gets framed in this big attack. So you know he's going to be kind of the good guy in the story, but then they have this whole little segment where at the beginning he's on this news show and he gets in an argument with this news reporter, and then midway through the comic, just almost as like a throwaway set of panels, he walks by in his little Doom castle, the news reporter tied up on chains with a mask on, and he's like talking to his minions, and he's like, make sure you feed this guy.
Oh my god.
So they want you to know he's still a bad guy. He's still a bad guy. He's just the bad guy we're going to kind of follow for a little while. So there was a lot of questions left in it. You don't know who framed him and all that kind of thing. And they also have this sort of where he's sort of envisioning this life with his family. So it's a little bit of what could have been storyline where he's doubting the paths he's taken. It's good. It was very interesting. We'll see where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not read Power of X, but you did.
I did. I've been binging and rereading that series for the past couple of weeks.
I think you have to reread it to get it all.
Sometimes, yeah, and I've been even like looking things up of just like people explaining it, like other people's interpretations of it, and like religiously checking out the X-Men Reddit forum, and just I'm like reading everything I can about it to just kind of piece things together.
Yeah, I have to do the same thing, and I'm not quite following it every issue. I have to almost like reread it again immediately because it's very complicated and it goes into everything X-Men ever. And
I don't want to like spoil too much for you, but like assimilating an entire society into one kind of being, it reminded me of End of Evangelion when everybody liquefied and turned into primordial soup. Have you ever watched that?
No.
Oh my god, dude, it is a mind blower. Like it's definitely worth twisting your brain around at least one go watching.
I've been, they Marvel does the forever crossovers now. One crossover leads into the next, But I feel like lately they have Aaron writing all the Thor stuff, which led into War of the Realms,
Which was phenomenal, by the way.
So good.
That was
And then they
so
have
awesome.
Hickman kind of like trying to fix up the X-Men here, and it's pretty much like the most raved about comic going on right now, the House of X, Power of X stuff. And then Absolute Carnage came out, which I think most people felt like, it's just going to be another one, but it turned out to be fantastic. And
I've been debating jumping onto that.
it's good.
Everything I see about it is awesome. Like, I saw a scan of a couple panels of Carnage in a church, and he pulled the spine out of a priest.
Yeah, that
like
happened.
holy, that was crazy.
It's and I feel like Marvel's really pulling it together right now. Like the conspiracy theorist in me wonders if Disney is weighing the options of saying like maybe these comics aren't making as much for us as we think they could be because
Marvel's just going balls to the wall.
So they're going
right
balls
now.
to the wall. Yeah, I mean they're definitely making a ton of money with the digital.
Yeah.
But they may just need to like Disney might have said, well, why are we doing print at all then? You know, I don't think they'll ever get rid of print, but
Honestly, I don't think I would read comics if it was solely on digital.
I do. I read 3 different things at a time right now. I read what's new that I want to get, whatever books those are. Then I read what was 6 months ago that I skipped at the store, like those ones that are kind of like I want to read it but not that bad. And then I read like a classic one that I either missed or just want to read again. Like right now I'm rereading Planet Hulk because I really enjoyed that one.
I just reread Onslaught this week.
Yeah, Onslaught was good.
Honestly, the way that Powers and stuff is going, the way that they've been like retconning and rewriting things, the direction they're taking Xavier almost feels like what was happening in Onslaught. It's really cool with like how Powers and House and Onslaught and the only one I can think of off the top of my head right now is the Phoenix Saga, how they introduce bad qualities, I guess, for Xavier. Like they always kind of paint him in this like can do no wrong father figure light. So it's always really cool when they introduce the like idea of him being a flawed character. They never really kind of tread into that, but when they do, it's so significant.
Oddly enough, that's sort of happening to him right now in Invaders too. The Invaders storyline is Namor basically came up with this plan to intentionally make Earth start a war with him. And they sort of retconned him a little bit where you found out like a long, long time ago he met Xavier and Xavier knew he was a mutant and just messed with his head. And he was trying to help him, but it's like screwed him up. And now he has like this ghost of one of his old army buddies constantly tormenting his head. And it's really good. This sort of made Xavier, not the bad guy, but definitely the flaw in Namor all these years. So that's been interesting.
It's always cool when they put him kind of in a negative light.
Yeah, I think they need to do that with all the characters.
Yeah,
and they do. I mean, they give everyone their flaws. That's why I get so mad when people flip out about stuff like making Captain America a bad guy for a little while.
Like when he was a Hydra guy.
Yeah, doing the Hydra
They
thing.
just made
and
the
gotta
opposite.
they have these characters for 80 years.
Yeah,
they
you
need to
gotta do something
do weird
different.
stuff with them, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's not going to stick, and
On the
sometimes
flip
it
side
will.
of that,
But like, wait
didn't
6
they
months
just
and it'll
make
go back.
Superman like a communist or something?
Yeah, that's from an old comic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yep.
Where
like,
if he landed in.
Well, it's
what?
basically like a what if
Yeah.
for DC. Yeah, where he lands in Russia, and you find out at the end of the day that there is always more universes to Spider.
Ashley, though she's not here, sends her pirate fact of the day.
Oh,
Would
let's
you
hear
like
her
to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear her
Of course.
pirate fact of the day.
All right, so she says pirates did not actually make people walk the plank. They typically killed people right away or do something more painful. So there was never any plank walking.
That's just
Damn.
a Hollywood.
Stereotype or some trope that came from probably some film or book.
Yeah, or book, probably.
Romanticism.
Old version.
Yeah.
Well, because if you kill him right away, it takes away some of the suspense. Drag it out,
Yeah.
walk a plank.
She also
Are there
wants-
real? What is a plank?
a plank?
I mean, I know what a plank is, but like, what is their purpose on
Wasn't it like the thing that they used to
They
like
used to-
get down from
From the ship to the dock.
Yeah.
They always have. There's a piece of wood.
Right, I get that, but I'm saying like, why would you make somebody walk that?
Oh, like why would Hollywood or literature make
Theatrics.
Yeah,
Because
it'd
like
be a really silly thing to do.
yeah, I guess it's maybe psychological if they want to pull that card. Like, oh, you might fall into shark-infested water if you don't do what we say. I don't know.
Ever notice how whenever like in like a cartoon or a movie or something when they're getting ready to walk the plank, there's always a circle of sharks going around underneath.
They probably just follow the ships. They know they're gonna drop someone.
Yeah.
It's a constant food source.
Pirates are always bringing me stuff to eat.
Exactly.
They just keep killing people.
That's what I would do if I were a shark.
I guess so.
She also wants you guys to choose a date between 1980 and now. I don't know what she's going to do with this information, but she wants a date chosen.
Between 1980 and now.
And now, yeah.
When was music best?
1986.
80.
You think 80s music's better than 90s music?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I grew up on 90s music.
Punk died in
right.
'84.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm thinking more of like the mainstream music of that time period was that very popular,
Yeah.
synthesized music, which is great.
Well,
I
hey,
love it.
90s
I love it.
90s music was good too.
Because you had the grunge blowing up, you had
and
the
then
hip-hop,
early industrial
like,
started.
yeah,
and
yeah.
You had Ministry, Nine Inch Nails, and Rob
Did you watch?
Zombie
This is
and-
way off the Marvel topic, but did you watch that documentary on HBO about I forgot his name now, the guy who developed Interscope Records, and he like in the '90s he
Yes,
he had
yes,
the
yes,
Nine
yes,
Inch
yes,
Nails
yes.
guy and
I
Marilyn
did,
Manson and
I
Dr.
did.
Dre.
I
and
remember
he,
that.
He like created the '90s basically.
What the was his name?
Yeah,
he
I
was
can't remember
a
his name. He's
he was
done
a,
everything. He's
yeah,
done
he was
stuff
like a
with
producer
Springsteen
or
and-
something.
yeah.
and he had his hands in everything. I wish I knew the guy's name.
Jimmy Iovine.
It sounds so.
It's something
it's
like that,
close,
yeah.
yeah. Because I remember watching that because like everybody was in it,
It's so good.
like
so good.
down to like Dr. Dre and Rick Rubin and Marilyn Manson, and
Yep.
Trent Reznor, and like
They do this
some
really
people.
cool montage in that where it's showing in the 90s where everything started to go wrong with like, the hip hop stars getting arrested and then people wanting their music banned from the stores. And it's showing mostly like the hip hop stars, but it's doing it with the Marilyn Manson Beautiful People song playing. And it's so good. I think this is the point in the show where we should bring up two different things. One, shout out to our number one fan,
Oh, CB.
CB over at Marvel.
Of
Thanks for
course.
listening. I'm glad you're putting Silk in everything now. Really appreciate that. I heard you're changing WandaVision to Silk Vision. And
I didn't know
Winter
who
Soldier.
Silk was until we talked about her, and then I looked her up, and I'm like, oh my god, she's so hot.
She is awesome.
She's got a suit made entirely out of webs. This is amazing.
It's a good color scheme too, black, white, and red.
Yeah.
Like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And they're also making Falcon and the Winter Silk. Those are the next big moves.
Wow, I can't believe this.
Is that a ship? It sounds like a
It
ship.
says-
Everything's a ship.
Yeah.
I can't believe this
Discriminate.
podcast, the one episode of this podcast, has single-handedly
Changed the face of
changed
Marvel. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it is in the name.
that's true.
You do talk it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we're veering way off course again here for a minute.
Hey, it's okay.
I think we should make a sister show where we get the product for it. I'll get it. All of the old like 1980s D&D Marvel games
Okay.
and play them as a group. Corey, you join us.
Sweet.
We'll set this up. We'll make it happen. We'll play it all the time, and we'll make Mike plays Marvel.
We should just do everything that Marvel has ever put out in terms of like entertainment media. Like I want to play like the Super Nintendo X-Men.
Oh my god.
And that's we'll do. So we'll do like Mike. We'll do that one. That will be Mike campaigns Marvel,
Mike campaigns Marvel.
and then we'll have Mike play Marvel, and that'll be old video
game
We'll
games.
have Mike
Yeah.
binges Marvel.
Mike reads Marvel.
It'll just be an hour of silence. You just hear a page turn, and then the occasional.
Now, I mean, if there wasn't like a big copyright thing about it, you could do Mike watch Marvel. Record
Well, I'll do it with
our own-
headphones on.
Wait, no. Does that fall under fair use?
because it's a commentary that
Right.
might. So
We could
take-
do a reaction.
We take all the Marvel movies, we Mystery Science Theater it.
Well, I think I'm starting my own podcast company now. We're
That's
gonna
true.
have 10
No one,
we got a lot
no
of
one take
spin-offs.
these ideas. By the way, they're trademarked now, and if they're not, we will get them trademarked by the time you hear this. And we will sue your. We need the money.
We don't threaten the only listeners we have.
Oh no, CB, you're fine. We won't sue you.
You're threatening to sue our 3 listeners, which is yourself, me, and CB from Marvel.
4.
man.
I'll listen to this. I listened to the
That's
first
true.
one.
You listen to the first one.
You're obligated now to listen to the rest.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued.
Right now, like he is thinking to himself, "What have I put in my music to?"
This is why I'm here, damage control. I'm kind of steering this.
Yeah.
Damage control on brand. Marvel.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
Good call.
yeah.
So let's talk about Disney Plus because it's coming up quick, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, November.
I pieced together some things, and when I say I pieced together, I did some reading too, so I'm kind of like, I got some influence by hearing other people's things, because I've been avoiding reading too much about the TV shows, because I
Yeah.
kind of want to be surprised, but I read some interesting stuff, and I want to go into it a little bit.
Okay.
So we have Doctor Strange the movie coming out,
Yes.
and we know that this is going to be Marvel's first attempt at horror, right?
Yes,
It's going
yes.
to be a horror themed with the Multiverse of Madness, and we know that Wanda's in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you have the WandaVision show coming
Right.
out. That's going to have to play. It's going to be building into this movie, I would think, right? Or at least gearing her character towards the movie,
Yeah. So it's set before the movie.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, and we also know that the WandaVision show is going to be sort of like a weird sort of 50s style family type show. So do you think this is going House of M-ish, sort of, where she's snapping a little bit and this whole show is going to be, they're not going to make it it's all a dream, that would be ridiculous.
But
But
alternate
sort
universe.
of it is like her creation
It's
in her mind.
I
her
would think so.
version of
Bringing,
reality.
and maybe that's how Vision's going to be in
Come
the
back.
show. I like your theory the best on how Vision's going to come back with the
With Shuri?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes the most sense to me, but maybe this is what they're gonna do, and then the multitude of the multiverse of
Multitude of madness.
multitude of madness. The multiverse of madness is gonna be like it exploding, like
Okay.
her.
Huh.
that
That's
makes me-
interesting because that's almost like a retelling of House of M with Doctor Strange kind of solving it instead of.
Yeah, bringing it towards. him.
That's a sweet way for them to kind of dodge the whole mutant thing too before they
Yeah.
introduce.
And that's
the
what I'm
X-Men
saying
into
is,
the MCU.
I like. So you have the shows coming out, and Disney Plus is going to be huge, despite itself. Even if these shows are terrible, it's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
But I would think if I were in charge, and I'm not because I'm probably not good at it, and I'm probably wrong here.
What
but
do you mean? You put Marvel on the map.
That's right. I did. I forgot about that. So I think the common thought is they're going to introduce the X-Men eventually. They're going to introduce Fantastic Four eventually, and this will all be in the movies. But what if, like, midway through WandaVision, Magneto just shows up? That would be because
wild.
that'll be in everything the next day.
Do you
That was-
think though? Do you think they could quietly cast Magneto
Yeah,
enough
that's the
to get that
If they
to
don't,
happen?
if they don't put him in Magneto costume, the second they put him in the Magneto costume, it's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
But you have some white-haired guy that's her father or implied to be her father show up. People are still gonna bug
That's
out.
true. Yeah.
You
Well,
can't really tiptoe around it. Like
They
Eric
could.
Lannister shows up and everyone freaks.
They could do it so subtly where it's like, oh, there's this guy in the show, and it's like, oh, he's a side character or whatever. Then like a couple episodes in or whatever, it's like just like lifts up something.
Yeah.
How funny would it be if he's just like standing in like their kitchen, like playing with like magnet letters on their fridge, like spelling out death to mutants or like something stupid, like
or like he walks
some
by
weird
the
like
fridge,
implication.
or he walks
Is
by
that
the
the humans,
fridge
I
and
mean?
all the magnets slide. That would be cool.
That would be so subtle.
It would be because like especially if it's the background, who's gonna notice that except us
but-
losers?
Yeah, but we'd be
Yeah.
freaking out.
I would be. Did we ever find out what day of the week shows will be released on?
I don't know that they have said that yet. I don't know if they're. I mean, I would assume they're gonna do different ones on different days.
I know it is weekly. I know they're not Netflixing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's gonna be weekly, which
Yeah.
is good for us.
I've
I
heard
agree.
Netflix is considering getting rid of the whole dropping the entire series or the entire season in one day thing because they've been like kind of concerned about people binging their shows. So they might
Concerned
start
because they won't keep the views up, or concerned because it's not healthy to watch that much TV in one. sitting?
probably a little bit of both.
Okay. Like I will binge a show, but I'll binge it around my day. When Daredevil first came out, and I was back at my first job, the movie theater, I would start an episode in the morning, and I'd get through maybe a full episode, maybe half an episode. Then I'll pause it. I'd go to work my do whatever, and then come back at home at night and finish that episode and maybe another one. And I would just kind of keep doing it that way.
I couldn't do that.
No.
No, I see. I don't watch much anymore because I have a 3-year-old.
Oh yeah.
And I have to watch everything in like 5-minute increments. But then like by the time I get halfway through one episode, it takes like a month, and I'm like, why? I don't care anymore. You know?
Are you gonna be able to do this Disney Plus?
Yes. I've
Is it-
already come
is
up
it-
with a plan.
Because it's for the show,
Because it's my job. This is my job now.
so it's a tax write-off.
It's a yeah.
So you just decided not to sleep.
Yeah. Well, the good news is superhero shows are cool. You know, for Nolan, we
True.
can watch
Oh
that
yeah,
a
you get a
little
little
bit.
boy. You can
Yeah.
kind of indoctrinate him.
Yeah, depending on what it is. I am kind of like a weird dad with that stuff. I don't like him to watch too much violence.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
no,
He's a little-
that's-
he's a little baby boy.
Yeah.
Especially with what we were just
I mean,
talking about
even I
earlier.
know,
like-
yeah, and I know it's superhero violence. It's a little more cartoony, but I still try and avoid it.
It's there's a line.
Yeah.
can always
but I
watch-
can still watch a little bit. But I've got my times where I can watch it for sure.
Okay.
I set that up. I'll just stay up a little later after he goes to bed. Watch it then.
Now, will that be healthy for you though?
No. Nothing I do is healthy for me.
Okay, well you're not wrong.
Yeah. What is the show and movie you've watched the most over and over and over again?
In general,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Marvel.
like over the course
But
of
let's
my
do that too.
entire life.
We'll do a third and then Marvel.
I know the 2 movies I've watched most repeatedly over the course of my life because I ruined the VHS tapes of them as a kid. The first one is Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
Never
and the
heard of
other
it.
no,
Shut
you
your
just
mouth.
your parent company just kind of bought it a couple years ago. It's huge, man. Good with the kids. The other one is Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
I've seen both of those movies like well over 300 times.
Jurassic Park is definitely in my top 10 most watched for sure. Just sometimes just for the like in the background because of the music is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, copyright.
Copyright.
Cut that.
Um, I think the most watched movie that I've ever seen is Army of Darkness.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, I love
That's a
that.
fantastic movie. I just wouldn't have. I wouldn't have guessed.
I love that movie so much.
How did you feel about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies?
I love
I understand why.
them. Yeah.
What's not to love though?
And
Except for
especially,
the third one.
I love the third one.
I like the third one, but I like it.
What's your
I
beef with
liked
Emo Parker?
I liked Daredevil. So I mean, who am I to say anything?
Did you like Elektra?
It was fine.
Okay.
It wasn't good.
Okay. I think, well, see,
Neither was Daredevil. But
yeah,
I
but Daredevil
never
had
watched
stuff to
it.
like about it, like Bullseye.
And Elektra.
Eh.
And what's his name was a great Kingpin.
That's true. He was a good kingpin.
Ping,
Michael
ping,
Clark
ping.
Duncan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan. I liked
Very
him.
good. What was the other half of this most watched question? I was trying to think of
TV
what
TV
show?
show, movie, Marvel.
TV show I've watched
Ooh,
the
yeah,
most.
TV show. The thing I've rewatched the most is probably True Blood.
Really?
Yeah,
You're a True Blood fan, huh?
Loved that show. I watched it when it came out.
It was good. It was a good show.
Yeah, I liked it.
I don't think I could watch it over and over and over again though.
I think I've only watched TV shows once.
I can't with an hour-long drama watch them again. Usually,
Yeah,
like The
it's-
Shield
it
was
is
my
hard.
favorite, and I've tried to rewatch it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
sitcoms are more I can do over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get a punchline.
I think
Yeah, and you don't
I've,
have to care.
I've
you
seen
know?
the most of Parks and Rec. I think I've seen specific episodes repeatedly just because they're on TV. I binged it all on Netflix, and then I saw it repeatedly on whatever station it's on.
I think something that helps with like comedy shows and stuff like that or sitcoms is it's quotable.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you watch a drama again, it's because you want to really like enjoy all the elements of it.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
with
Yeah.
a comedy, you're just kind of like, I just want to hear it.
Yeah, or you're like catching something that like you didn't notice the first time.
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
I tried to watch the first season of Dexter a second time because it was between seasons and I'd only watched the first one.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I'll watch this again. And I lost interest. I don't know how. And I really liked that show the first time I watched it.
Yeah, I really
watched-
liked that show too.
Yeah, that
I never
one
finished it though. Once he had a
actually,
baby, I fell off.
Oh man, really? Season 4 was so good.
I don't know. I was kind of binging it around that time too, so I think I was just kind of like burnt out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I never went back to it.
That's actually a show I've watched a few times.
Yeah?
But it wasn't because I was like, man, I need to watch Dexter again. It was because when I started dating Becky, I wanted her to see it. So I watched
Oh,
it again
okay,
for that.
okay.
Yeah.
Rewatched a handful of shows for a girl.
Yeah.
And then you're spoiling stuff like, oh, this part's so cool, watch. And
And
they
don't you,
like,
like-
are half interested in it.
Yeah. And then they're like, checking their phone or something.
Yeah, and you're
like,
getting
"You're
personally
missing the best
offended. Yeah,
part!"
yeah.
The worst part is when you show someone a movie that you really like, and then you're watching it with them, and then you're like, this isn't good. You're like, why did I think this was good? Now I don't think it's good anymore. Why did this happen?
Yep. You watch a movie through like someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I've done that a
I'll
handful
just
of
stop
times,
it.
too.
Yeah. Maybe I don't like it anymore either.
Yeah, you're sitting there like, oh god, I wish this movie would be over quicker.
I got Becky to watch Far From Home last night, so
Yeah?
I got to see that again.
Nice.
That was good.
I still haven't seen that.
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
is really good.
Definitely really good. I liked it better than the other one.
Then
And dare I
Homecoming?
say, I liked Gyllenhaal as a villain better than Keaton.
Oh yeah, I did too. I
He does a
like.
real good job.
I liked Keaton.
Yeah, Keaton was
He
great.
a great vulture.
Yeah.
I think they're both excellent. I think they're both good additions to the Marvel villain lineup
Mm-hmm.
that we've had so far. I like that they're not both, just a superhero but bad.
I think the reason I like Gyllenhaal better is just like scripting wise,
Yes.
because I think that script really gave him the opportunity to play two very different characters,
Yes.
and he does it very well.
I think it also helps. The last movie I saw with him was Nightcrawler,
Oh yeah.
where
How
it's
was
like
that?
it was good. It was
Yeah.
a very good movie, and his performance in it. That's all I could think of when he was doing this movie. So it added for me. So it made him a better villain by association. I think
Gotcha.
it
Yeah, that
set me in the
happens.
right mindset.
Yeah, that happens. Sometimes you're on that kick with that person, so you're noticing the stuff.
Now,
Noticing
before
the
we
goods.
talk about our most watched Marvel movie, we have another Ashley
I
fact.
still haven't answered the question.
I know. but I'm going to
Okay,
interrupt you
okay,
with
let's hear it, I
a
wanna
nice sound effect that I'll edit in now.
I think it's very important that
Nope,
we do
you
not
ha-
follow any kind of strategy here. and just go all over the place.
No, I'm going to need
everywhere.
absolute silence for me to add the sound effect in.
Okay.
All right, I added it in post. So whatever the sound effect is, this is Ashley's fact. So you guys, you chose 1985. That is when the NES was released, which gave us Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, which Ashley says, thank God. Also, the classic D&DS game Gauntlet came out on the Atari.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's
Warrior
a good
needs
year.
food.
She
Sadly.
used to play it on the PlayStation and still does to this day. And she says, and I quote, good
Thanks, Ashley.
Gracious.
It's really nice having her here.
So,
Those are all
even though
kick-ass
she's
games.
not here, she's still here in fact form.
Yeah.
So answer your most watched movie, most watched TV show.
Wait, I don't get my year?
What year did you say? You didn't give me a year.
I said
Oh
94.
yeah, he said 94.
I got 86. Also.
Well, I can name like 5 albums that came out in 94
So,
if you want.
Wait, hold on. Can you say 1986?
1986.
All right, I'll edit that back. With the year that you chose.
It's a lot of post-production magic happening right now.
Well, let's hear the 1986 fact. And don't edit that, so everybody knows how much you ruined.
1986, Bethesda was founded, who have come to create some of our favorite glitchy games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Thanks, Mike, for that year suggestion.
That was wonderful.
And I get to edit this, so I can edit it however I want.
You can edit it, but nobody's gonna hear it. Not that they were anyway.
Except CB.
Except for CB.
And us.
Yeah. So my most watched movie is I don't know because I have the ones when I was a kid, which would be Follow That Bird, maybe.
What?
Yeah. So we're not gonna count that. As an adult, it would be it's a weird selection. Inglourious Bastards,
Really?
Watchmen,
Really?
Traitor.
and Pleasantville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Watchmen?
Yeah, you know why? It has a good soundtrack, so it was another good one to fall asleep to.
Okay, that's
My
fair.
Chemical Romance covered Bob Dylan on that album.
They did.
It was bizarre, but it was cool.
Weird, yeah.
I like the intro to that movie with the Bob Dylan.
Yeah. It was a good movie.
It's very Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not bad.
And well, yeah, but that's where I actually did, for me, like I loved watching that movie, and then the more I saw of Snyder, the less I wanted to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan,
No.
but people are. People love him, so
Who?
they want that Snyder
Yeah.
cut.
Who is? Who's a fan?
I haven't
everyone
heard
wants
anything
that Snyder
positive
cut.
about like any DC movies since The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I think people want a Snyder cut because they want to see a better version of the movie, but I don't think there's a better version of those movies.
Well, Joker's supposed to be good.
I hear good things about it.
I have to.
I'll see it at some point.
I'm more excited for Suicide Squad.
Me too. Well, it's because you got Gunn in there.
Exactly why. Because I know he knows how to make a good movie. Not that Snyder can't make a good movie and Joss Whedon can't make a good movie. They've made fantastic movies, both of them. James Gunn makes weird movies, and Suicide Squad has to be weird.
Yeah. It
It
fits.
Yeah. So I cannot see him making a bad movie, especially with the Suicide Squad that already came out, which had little good nuggets in it, but overall was a turd.
If it was more focused, I think it would have been a better movie. If they focused on Deadshot and just kind of cut a lot of the fat, it would have worked.
Yeah, I think that's like the old superhero dilemma that DC just didn't quite pick up on how to fix yet. But Sony learned, and it was with Sony, probably Spider-Man 3, where it was like, we can't put everything in at once.
Yeah.
You gotta slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, there are way too many pieces.
Yeah.
And they just kind of mashed it all together. They didn't spend enough time kind of cultivating the characters.
It was studio interference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had a different like editing company come in. And
But they
a lot of weirdness.
forced Raimi to put Venom in,
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to. He's like,
I
I
was
don't.
thinking Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Suicide Squad was a production mess.
Oh, yeah.
They
All
both
over
were.
the place.
Yeah.
Well, so Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi, he didn't like Venom. He didn't get the character, and he didn't want to put him in. It was supposed to be the Vulture and the Sandman were supposed to be in that movie. And then Sony was like, yeah, but people love Venom.
So we're gonna cast the kid from that '70s show.
Yeah.
That's even weirder.
Yeah, that I never understood that. I didn't like Skinny Venom.
I mean, he's a good actor.
He's
but
tiny,
he's not for
Yeah,
that
he's-
role
no.
at all. I don't think there was anything wrong with his acting performance in the movie. It just
He just-
doesn't
he wasn't
fit that
Eddie Brock,
character.
yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new Venom. I know.
You haven't?
Oh, it's
No.
good.
Oh, I love that movie, dude.
That's what
It's
I've
so good.
I've heard mixed.
Something
Tom
I
Hardy's
noticed when it came out, I saw every review I read hated it. Every person I talked to loved it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah,
I do not trust critics anymore.
yeah.
Because-
either.
I don't know, they hold things to higher standards or different standards. And I listen to either people on podcasts like ours who talk about movies so I can get a more reliable vibe from, or just word of mouth.
Yeah.
Plus, the thing with critics too is you don't know who's paying them.
There's no more Eberts, you know.
Nah.
Those are the guys who had the integrity. So what's the what? Let's instead of just what Marvel movie have you watched over and over again the most? MCU specifically.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, MCU specifically.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched that many times. It's good. I watched it with commentary. I delved into all the behind the scenes that I can get. Which, okay, I want to talk about commentaries for a second, for a hot sec. DVDs should all come with commentary. I don't want to buy a Blu-ray DVD specifically for a commentary, but I do it anyway because I want the audio friggin' commentary. I want to know what the director has to say while the movie's playing. And I don't want to have to buy a more expensive Blu-ray disc to get the feature that I want.
They don't put commentary on DVDs anymore?
No, it's all on Blu-ray. So what I have to do, I have to buy the Blu-ray. I don't have a Blu-ray player, so I buy the Blu-ray. It comes with, I have to get the one specifically with the digital download. I download it digitally, play it on my computer, and then play the commentary from there.
Oh, that is a hassle.
That is a
Yeah, that's-
hassle. But I do it anyway because I love Marvel movies, and
Yeah,
I
see,
want to
I
know what the
don't-
director's saying.
I don't do the commentary stuff. I would. I'm not concerned about it enough that I would go buy something different for it. But I hate that because I get everything through streaming, and I wish that when you purchased it like on Amazon Prime or on one of those options that it came in like a format where it was like, here's the movie with commentary, here's some deleted scenes. Like it never has that. Like, and if it does have any bonus features, it's after the credits. So it's just that's why they can give you multiple things.
For the price of a DVD, we should get a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? That sound effect that's just happened again. Ashley has another fact from the correct year for you.
Okay, 94 fact.
94. Donkey Kong Country was released for Super Nintendo. Oh, I broke it.
Donkey Kong.
That's the name of his D&D character.
That's my D&D
That's
character,
great.
Donkey Kong. Did you ever see that meme?
No.
So it's a picture. It's a picture from a Final Jeopardy round, and the question was, I don't remember the exact question, but it was something along the lines of,
Oh, I know it.
this blue character goes around collecting rings and is really fast, or something like
Yep.
that, and it just shows everyone's answer. And one lady's answer was specifically Donkey Kong, and it was obviously photoshopped, but it's so funny.
It's so good. Also, what came out that year was Earthbound. And Ashley says that essentially it was a huge year for gaming.
I don't know what Earthbound is.
You don't know Earthbound?
No, what is it?
All right, so in Japan there's a game called Mother,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like sort of like an RPG type game. The English version that you got Earthbound. It's about these group of kids and they go around. Have you ever played Smash? Like Super Smash Brothers?
Oh yeah.
There's kids Ness and Lucas. Those kids are from Earthbound.
Oh okay.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just a very influential game, especially for like people who love that generation of gaming.
That's funny because I mean I don't play games anymore, but I did in that era, so I don't
You
know how
just-
that one just
Slip by you? Huh.
yeah, or maybe I just forgot about it. Maybe I just
Maybe.
lost it. Maybe
Yeah.
just fill in my head with other things.
What Marvel movie have you watched the most, MCU?
Either Winter Soldier or
Oh.
Guardians 2, and maybe Infinity War is taking over that spot. I've seen that one a lot now
Really?
too. Yeah, I've watched that a lot.
I think I've only watched that twice, and the second time I watched it was at game night.
That was fun.
Game
the
night?
soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, the soundtrack.
Yeah. So I made a playlist for, I had people over for like a board game night, you know, and I threw Infinity War on the background and just had it on mute. And the soundtrack that I had playing just it was like, you know, the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the
Yep.
Moon thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it just fit so much. And there was like a cover I had by Boy Sets Fire of Rocket Man. And it happens right when Tony Stark and Spider-Man go off into space.
Oh,
So it was
that's
like
great.
this perfect. Yeah, it was like it was
That's
crazy.
awesome.
So let's get into gaming in another way
Oh yeah.
for a second.
Did he
you
answer
have some
his-
news?
No,
Hold
I
on.
didn't.
Oh,
Don't cut off his answer.
well,
I know
we've
we're
been doing
unfocused.
this question for like an hour.
I've been like kind of mulling it over, trying to think of
We've given him time.
what it could have been. It's got to be either Spider-Man: Homecoming
Okay.
or Thor: Ragnarok.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
Ragnarok
Awesome
is catching
movie.
up on mine.
Yeah.
Me too.
Such a good movie. Every time I watch it, I catch another like one-liner that I missed before.
Yeah. I didn't know. I know that I'm the all-knowing Marvel guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know that Korg was really got his introduction in comics in Planet Hulk.
I didn't know that either.
Because I had read Planet Hulk a while ago, but I didn't. I guess I just didn't remember the Korg character. And then when I saw him in the movie, I was like, this guy's funny. And then yeah, he's actually in the comics, and he's helping the Hulk. He basically is to Hulk in the comics what he is to Thor in the Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
That's
Huh.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a neat fact.
No.
Also, I just like his actor Taika Waititi. He's obviously the director
Yeah.
of that movie, but he's also he made a really good movie called What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie.
Funny.
That's one I've seen a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just did a series.
Yeah, they made a
based on-
series on.
Yeah.
I watched.
FX, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of it, but
But
the movie
neither.
was funny.
It's
I liked
on
the movie.
Hulu. I did a month free trial of Hulu, which I only got through 2 episodes of in that time span just because I've been so busy. They've been very good episodes. I think the first episode is directed by him, but it just feels like it's in the same world. It's
Good.
a very good show.
Yeah.
Like I might, if I wasn't paying for Disney Plus when it comes out, I might think about Hulu for this specific show.
Oh, I have all of them.
Oh, you pay for them all?
I get way too many.
You fool.
I have
You fool.
I have Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, Audible for my
Wow.
audiobooks.
I can't. I
like,
couldn't do that.
I have like 30 subscriptions, and I don't even like. I got stars.
You will
and I
have
didn't
no
even,
problem
I
finding
didn't even
sponsors.
know I had stars. yeah,
Just
yeah.
tell them all that you have subscriptions to all
Anyone
of
else there, if they
services.
want to sponsor us, let us know.
Yeah, if anyone wants to sponsor us.
Yeah, Mike
we're-
has everything.
Yeah.
Mike will talk anything.
Yeah.
I am what advertisers are aiming for.
Yeah.
I am a consumer. Like, I just waste money. And everybody who loves me in my life hates me for that. They're like, hey, Mike, did you pay your bills? I'm like, yes. I re-upped my Netflix.
I paid my electric bill and all my subscriptions.
yeah. Like,
Really?
yeah, I spent
And
so
you
much
can
money on it.
justify,
No, I
relate.
can never justify it.
but
I
you
can
do it
relate.
I
anyway.
do it. It's like
You
a
deleted
compulsion.
that one thing because you bought virtual cards, but you won't delete these subscriptions?
Well, I use them.
All of them?
No, not me, all of them, but my household does.
You can't just choose 2 between the 2 of you?
No.
Disney Plus may phase out a handful of them.
Well, I probably will get rid of Netflix when Disney Plus starts.
I've already gotten rid of Netflix. I've committed to it.
I don't really use it, to be honest. I fall asleep to The Office. That's what I use it for. That's it. It's the only thing I
There are
do.
shows I like on it.
Yeah. So back to gaming again
Okay.
for a second. Well, actually, I'm going to lead into it first by talking about Corey just posted a picture on his Facebook of his Halloween costume. He got these pretty bad Wolverine claws.
I did.
in there.
Yeah, I was thinking about them when we were talking about frivolous purchases. I was about to like, interject and be like, wait, no, I just spent like $40 on Wolverine claws for no good reason.
That's
And the picture is amazing, and if
I'll
you'll
show you
allow
right
it,
now.
I'm going to put it in the show notes.
For
this
sure,
episode.
definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you also have some cosplay news too, right? You and Ashley got some accolades there.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we listened to another podcast called Critical Role. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast where a bunch of voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. And every
The
month,
biggest one.
yeah, the
Yeah.
biggest show of nerdy voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. That is a bad photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Critical Role show. Every month, they've been doing since I think the beginning of this year, cosplayers of the month, where they find a bunch of cosplayer photos, and they put them in an album and show them to the rest of the Critical Role fans and show them off and tell their accounts and where they can be found and stuff. And Ashley and I, as well as a group of other friends, did a group photo, and we were their cover photo and you shared it
I did.
on the page.
Yeah,
awesome.
so check out our social medias because
Yes.
I posted it on there on Mike Talks Marvel,
Yep.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
All the social
Little bit of
medias.
Earth thing.
all the social medias. So go on there and follow us, and
Yeah.
also subscribe to this.
Yes.
And be listening to this first is the most important thing. Be
Please.
listening to this right now.
Besides CB, we need other people to listen.
And we need you to send each episode to CB at
Please.
Marvel. Send it
Even
to
though he
him.
listens to it already, you need to reinforce it.
We want him to know how much we all love Silk.
Exactly.
Yeah, and subscribe and review us.
Yes, please review us and rate us. I don't know how other podcast apps do it, but I know iTunes it does star out of 5 stars reviews and comment reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So please rate us. Tell us what you think. We'd just definitely like to hear what you think.
Yeah,
And we'll probably talk about it.
and do that like I think we should have like a question of the week for the
Ooh,
fans
that's
to
a good
send in their
idea.
answer. And I think this week's is what is your big binge? What have you watched the most?
The theme of the show works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Good.
There's just one more thing to say.
And what's that?
Excelsior
See you
later.
later.